Ask me anything. I'm an open book.
All right.
Oh, she opened the door on that one.
So are we cameras ready? Sounds ready? All right. So here we are, episode 6. God, we made it to 6 already.
Oh, I left 5 at the top there.
But yeah, so it's been a wild ride.
It's been good. It's been good.
The past 6 weeks.
Social media showing good numbers. And
Yeah.
You guys are listening out there and following our Facebooks and TikToks. And
Yeah.
we're going to get TikTok famous one way or another. Thank God it's not the way some people get TikTok famous.
This is true.
We're not dancing or singing a song or twirling, but so one way or another it's going to get out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. And, we got Blue Note Bourbon back as our sponsor.
That was my favorite, right out of the bottle.
It was right out of the bottle.
Right out of the bottle.
And it kind of an awesome segue to bring into who we have as our guest today. We have Dakota from Workspace Collective.
Workspace Collective. Why do we know that name?
I think we might film our
podcast here. I like it. So Dakota, you were the first one we met when we came in.
Yes.
And you were very polite and nice, and now we
thank
find
you.
all the stuff out about you, and you go on the podcast. This is great. This is my favorite part. All the do's and don'ts for finding out today.
Yeah.
So Dakota, you've been in hospitality though.
Yes. Yeah, I got my first job in a restaurant at 16. I started at Chicken Salad Chick in Ormond Beach.
I remember that. That's not. They just opened 10 years ago, right?
So yeah, I actually started 2 weeks before they opened. So we got like the full sit down training with the owners of the company and everything. So
was that their first location?
No. I don't know where it started.
But it was their first location around here.
Yes.
That was it, brand new. Because I remember when it opened, I was living in Ormond at the time, and it was a great concept, more healthier. I'd say a healthier Subway. I hate to say that, but like a healthier. Well,
you know how much mayonnaise is in that stuff.
Oh my! the 17 boxes you guys order a week mayonnaise. Yeah, I know how much is in there.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. They opened another location in Port Orange after that under the same owners because it's a franchise. But yeah, I started there and then I bartended, I hosted, I served, I did everything all the way up until August of last year.
And then you decided it's time to get as people like to say, a big girl job.
Big girl job.
No matter how old you are, you could be 22, 42, or 62.
Yes.
Like finally you're getting a big girl job or a big boy job.
Big
and I'm
girl
like,
job.
wait a minute, I make more money in my big boy in my little boy job, if you want to call it, than my big boy job. Because once you start hitting the management in this, it's hourly.
Yeah.
Maybe some salaries in this, but I mean, bartenders making $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I got a job for $80,000. Like you got a big girl job. You're like, I made 120 before. Now I spend 100 of it every night going out.
Yeah.
That's
another
the
thing.
difference.
The culture of it. Yeah, it definitely is make money and then turn around and go out to a different bar that stays open later than ours. And
But that is changing though, if you look at it, because years ago when I was bartending, you got all your money at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So all my credit cards, all my cash, I got at the end of the night and I get to walk out with it. With the tipping, it's changed a lot now. I mean, we used to walk out with $300, $400, $500 because you got your cash, you got your credit card, you got everything that night. But now it seems like the big hospitality is you walk out with your cash, but your credit card's on your check. So now when our checks were $71, $16, now your checks are $1,200, $1,300, $1,800, and so on. So I think it's kind of good because it's teaching a little responsibility. Because you might walk out with $30 in a night, but your $230 is on your check.
Yeah.
So I think now the big girl, big boy jobs can now be regular jobs now.
Yes. Yeah. And I saw so many people leave serving. They're like, I'm going to go do something, get a full-time job, do the 9-to-5 thing. And they would come back a few months later. They're like, I can't afford to live on this. Like, I need my serving pay. And it makes sense. I mean, it's hard to walk away from that kind of money, but.
And that would be a good program to come up with, how to savings type thing. Because, there's always different things in big girl jobs and big boy jobs that are about saving and IRAs and
401ks.
401ks. Like, I think maybe the bar business should look at doing something like that. Well, the same thing where you have a 401k, or when your check goes in, 20% goes to a savings, where you could save that. And at the end of the year, you have $7,000. They'll match it with 5% or 10%. Might be a good thing for a business number 17 for us,
Yeah. Yeah. I just started, not just started, probably about a year ago, before we reopened. I was like, man, I want to do something that not a lot of restaurants do. I want to try and retain good employees. And how do you do that? By offering them stuff like, we didn't go as far as 401k, but we offer health insurance. We offer PTO. You get paid time off. You get vacation. So trying to do that as an incentive, hey, come work for us. Not, we're a busy place. You're going to make money regardless. But to keep those good employees, we figured, try and offer something.
Did you offer baby pay? Have you seen the thing now where guys I'm sorry, man. I know maternity leave. I didn't say baby pay. I did, but it's maternity leave.
Yeah.
I get girl maternity leave. I totally understand it. You need that month, 2 months. I understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand the guy maternity leave.
All right.
I think it's called paternity leave.
It is
paternity leave.
Paternity leave
So
for the guy, yes.
Dad. Yeah.
Maternity for the mom, paternity for the dad.
Yeah.
Where are they getting the P from?
Because paternal, like
fascia.
like
Paternal leave.
maternal and paternal, like your dad's dad is your paternal grandfather.
I went to hospitality school, not doctor school. But I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't understand why paternal leave has to happen for the guys.
You know what's crazy? Geico, or not Geico. That's car insurance. What's the other one that pays you when you're injured? Aflac.
Aflac.
So Aflac, if you have Aflac and you get pregnant, so you can't get it after the fact you're pregnant, but if you had it, they will pay you your entire maternity leave or paternity leave.
Now, will they do maternity and paternity?
Yes. They will do both. I wish I knew that.
Now,
before
how long
I
do you have to
had
have
kids.
it, though? Do you have to have it for a year before?
A couple months. Like 3 months.
Really?
Yep.
Not that I ever going to need that, but I totally get it. But I'll never need that.
And Aflac's like $12 a week or like $7. It's super cheap off your paycheck. So anybody thinking about getting pregnant, before you do, get Aflac.
That was a great
sponsor, but I'm telling you,
that was a great
awesome.
commercial. You should be the next commercial.
Right.
You're right there. An Aflac in diapers or something.
But yeah, man, I was trying to, like I was saying, just trying to do something to bring staff in and keep retention.
No, that's huge because that's a big part of wanting a big girl job is medical insurance and 401ks and all that stuff because most places don't offer that. So that should help.
Yeah, yeah, and
did it work? Did you retain a lot of people? And
anytime. Well, this. Anytime you reopen or open, you're going to go through a first round of a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of turnover. It's going to, but we have a really solid crew right now.
I think it's upper management, how you treat them, how you respect them.
Yeah,
because some of the places I'm at offer it, and some of them don't. But the one place I'm at don't. But it's who you work for. If I'm going to spend 30, 40 hours with you, I got to feel like your family.
Yeah.
I got to feel like the respect. When you're yelling at me and writing me up and doing this stuff and not part of the team, and if I need help serving, you're not serving, I think that's where the biggest thing is.
Yeah. Yeah,
you're out there on the floor running food if you have to.
Oh,
you're
absolutely.
bartending if you have to. You're cleaning bathrooms. Like you're a working manager or working GM.
Yeah.
Where some of them aren't.
Oh, no. Yeah, I would say half of
them
want
to bark. They want to bark orders and sit there and drink with their friends. And, they're not involved with the crowd, and that upsets people for the most part. I'm in the woods, in the weeds, and I'm making you money.
Yeah.
And you're gonna sit there and have drinks with your friends, and then you're gonna write me up for being 15 minutes late. I'm good. I'll find the next spot.
Yeah. Oh, and it's very true. You got to show respect to your staff. You got to show respect to, anyone that works for you, or they're not going to work for you.
So you don't have to name any names, but did you have managers like that at the places you worked?
Oh, absolutely. I had amazing managers that were those guys who I'm like, hey, I'm in the weeds. I need help right now. And they would drop everything and help. And then I had the other ones that you're talking about too. And yeah, I had both of them at the same place, which made it really hard.
You're like, is Tony working or Kevin working?
Exactly.
You're like, oh my God, Kevin's working. It's going to be great.
That happened at so many different restaurants that I worked at where it was like, I knew by the manager that was on that night what kind of a shift it was going to be. And it's really unfortunate. And, leaving those places at the end of it, it's a big old fuck you to one. And the other one is like, I'm so sorry that I'm leaving. Like, I don't want to do this to you, but I have to, kind of a thing. So, I've worked for them all.
Yeah, I worked for someone, this is going back years ago. I was selling cell phones for AT&T.
Did you you were in the cell phone business?
I was in the cell phone
I
business.
was too. I worked for a place in Gainesville. That was one of my first jobs before I got into hospitality with cell phones.
Dude.
But that's back when you could I'm showing my age. I'm not telling you. That's back when the faceplates would change and the batteries lit up and the antennas would glow. There was a huge market for that. Huge market. I mean, the glow antennas that would light up and the battery packs and the changing the faceplates. But that was one of my first jobs was a cell phone place.
Dude, we're going back probably 2007. And it was when I think the second iPhone came out.
By the way, did you just see Dakota's face when you said that?
I was 9.
I was 9.
I was 9. I couldn't even get a cell phone.
Actually, I already had a cell phone.
At 9.
I did. My parents divorced when I was 6, so I had a cell phone because I flew back and forth by myself between the two of them. So I've had a cell phone since I was 6.
See, that's a good reason for a kid
safety.
to have a cell phone.
Yeah, I had the little Firefly. Do you guys remember the Firefly?
I do remember
It
that.
would
It was
only
a
call like
prepaid-
4 numbers.
pre-programmed numbers and a little hand for 911, and it was green and it had 2 little antenna on
So
it.
you weren't checking your MySpace or your Facebook or your Snapchat?
Not allowed of Facebook until I was 13. I didn't get any social media until middle school. So.
I sold those phones.
Did you?
I did. But the iPhone, man, when iPhone 2 came out, because people didn't have, internet packages on their phones, right? So you were getting, AT&T was giving you $30 every time you sold one.
A package?
And now, yeah. So every iPhone you sold had to have it. So you got $30. Do you remember those iPhone lines? We would get there at 4:30 in the morning and work till 10 o'clock at night. My commission check from the iPhone 2 launch day was $5,000.
You had a big boy job.
Yeah. And God, we got $12 an hour plus the commission.
That was good pay back then.
It was great pay. And
1983, that was good money, Joe.
I still have the 401k from it.
Wow.
Yeah. Back then it was great money. And I've even I got a couple of friends that are still in that industry, and the money is nowhere near what it used to be. But back in the day when the iPhones were coming out and internet packages, the money was great. After I got that check, I took a week vacation and just partied in Key West.
Do you remember the floodgates? Did they ever talk about opening the floodgates? Do you remember how when people had to do a credit check?
Oh, yeah.
You got approved for 1 phone, 3 phones, 5 phones.
Or a deposit of $750.
There was never a deposit. Good news, you're approved. But it's a $750 per line. And they wanted 5 lines.
Yeah.
Do you remember the floodgates, though, they used to do back then? Somehow they'd get around it, and they call it open the floodgates. Everyone got approved at a zero rate.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Our manager would come in. He'd be like, all right, we're opening the floodgates today. Anyone that came in, you could have been a bum off the street and you get approved.
No prepaid phones today.
No prepaid phones today.
But, I mean, it's crazy how, industries change and all that. And like I said, money-wise, people were making better money then than they are now, which is insane.
Well, everything changes.
Yeah.
I remember texting. I remember my first cell phone. Like, you want texting? I'm like, nobody texts. I'm good, thanks. I remember free nights at weekends after 7. But with T-Mobile, you got it at 6, and then you have 5,000 minutes. But if you wanted 1,200 minutes, and there was all these packages that kids these days, everything's unlimited now. There's really nothing. There might be one package but everything is unlimited.
Yeah, imagine waiting to call your friends till 7 o'clock at night because that's...
Yeah, no, that's definitely before my time. If I had to deal with minutes, my parents would have been yelling at me every month. So.
Do you remember, hey, page me and I'll call you because I got 1 minute outgoing for free? Because I think one of the plans is, I think you either got the incoming, 1 minute you got for free.
Incoming calls were like you got a discounted rate.
No, like your first minute was free.
Okay.
But anything over that started using against your minutes or... it cost you pennies. So I'm like, hey, man, 58 seconds, got to call you back. But it's crazy how things change in 15 years, 20 years. It's changed over and over again.
Yeah. Do you want to hear my craziest story in the cell phone industry?
We do. And Dakota has one too, I can already tell.
No.
This is Key West. So, we're partying. We have a good time. I was at Cowboy Bill's, and they did sexy bull riding every Wednesday. Basically, the girls would get on the bull, and there'd be 5, 10 of them, and it was like $1,000 cash prize. So it was great. It's super fun. So
Did you ever get on there?
No, but I was a judge a couple times.
Okay.
But I'd having fun at the bar, go home. What am I going to do? I'm going to look in the fridge, in the freezer. I found chocolate in the freezer. I was like, this is amazing. Yay. Had a chocolate, made a bologna and cheese sandwich. It's 4:35 a.m. I have work the next day. And man, about an hour later, I was watching Superbad, and literally Jonah Hill walks out of the screen. What I had taken, and I did not know, is these were mushroom chocolates that my roommate put in the freezer. Now, if you've ever mistakenly taken mushrooms, it does not go away really quick. So I get into work at 8 a.m. I didn't want to drive my truck because, that'd be dangerous. So I got on my scooter because that seemed like
That seemed like a much better idea.
And I go into work, and God, one of my best friends in the world, John, I was working with him, and I'm just kind of like looking at my computer. I'm just standing there. He's like, bro, what's wrong? And I looked at him, and I was like, I'm tripping balls. He's like, all right, man, well, it'll be slow today. Just kind of like play on your computer.
And this is the cell phone place.
This is the cell phone place.
Okay. I was wondering where this is going from chocolates to going out to 5 a.m.
So I'm trying to sell cell phones in this state that is just not the best. Guy comes in, first customer. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, I want the best phone you got. I should take him to a BlackBerry or an iPhone. Now, the best phone that day, AudioVox 1890 flip phone. So I'm over trying to sell him this flip phone. And he's like, but why is it the best phone? And I'm all perplexed. I'm like, it flips. Needless to say.
Did you sell him the AudioVox 5000 or did you go to an iPhone?
No. When I was kind of upset with him that he didn't think it was cool that it flipped, John was looking up and be like, hey, Joe, can you go get me a phone in the back? And he took over the sale.
And he bought 5 iPhones.
Yeah, and I took a nap in the back room and shut the lights off. My boss woke me up 4 hours later.
Good day.
Yeah, she wasn't happy about it. But
Sounds like a great day.
Now, Dakota, I'm sure you got some fun stories from the restaurant industry.
Oh, I mean, plenty. Probably one of the best/worst. I worked at an Irish pub in Jacksonville, and I started working there. I was working at Starbucks before, but I was full time. I was a shift manager at Starbucks, and I had started getting my master's online at that point, so I could not do a full time schedule. So I was like, I'm going to go serve. I know I can make more money and work fewer hours doing this. And Irish pub, St. Patty's Day rolls around, and this is like our Christmas day. Like, we're going to be packed. We're all going to make so much money. Like, this is going to be amazing. They ended up doing sections. I got a section with 2 tables in the very back of the restaurant, the farthest away from the bar, the farthest away from the balcony. I had people walking out that day with like $1,800 in tips. I made $100. And this was like, I was planning vacations off of this day. Like, this was going to be my day. And this was one of the places where I told you it was all of the
Kevin was working, not Rick.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it was all of that. And I don't know, like, I mean, I'm sure you have, like, people with a vendetta almost. Like, you said the wrong thing to them once, and then they're just, determined to make your life miserable for the rest of the time that they interact with you. That was the kind of
that 2-table section was
that we
your
had.
thing.
Yeah. Because
you know what your vendetta thing was?
Yeah, actually I do. I was very vocal about the fact that it is illegal to prevent or prohibit your employees from talking about their pay. It's illegal. People are more than welcome. Like, nobody has to talk about it, but you are not allowed to have anything in your policies or say, like, you can't talk about your pay.
But what, for you in the hospitality business, you were making whatever per hour, $2.13, $5 an hour.
Yeah.
And then you're making tips. So what did they not want you to talk about?
So because of the kind of unfair sectioning that was a consistent issue there, we would all talk, and we all became friends.
About
we
your
all
tips,
together.
basically.
We would
Hey,
talk
I had
about
this
our
section.
tips.
I made 210.
Exactly.
I made 312. So they didn't want you to talk about your tips in your section.
Yes.
I've never heard that.
Yeah. So
I can understand people not wanting to talk about if I'm paying him $10 an hour and you $12 an hour.
Yeah.
I can understand because I'm paying 2 different people out of my pocket.
Yeah.
I can see the sections getting different things, but if I come in there and tip you $100 in your bad section and tip him $20 in a good section, it's really.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we would just, we're all friends. We would just chat about the night and everything. And somebody didn't like what I said, went to the managers about it, and the managers called me into their office, and it was like, that is illegal. You don't have to like it, and we don't have to. Like, if I go up to one of my friends and I'm like, hey, I did this last night, how'd you do? And she says, I don't want to talk about it. That's totally fine. But you can't say that I can't. So I really pissed them off by saying that to them. Not enough to fire me, just enough to,
a
give me
2-table section on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. So
they just took $1,700 out of your pocket.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh.
But it was fine. We moved and left there shortly after. So
what was your last hospitality job before you got into Workplace?
So it was at Dunes Brewing in Port Orange.
Okay.
That's my bartending experience. I was a beer tender. I wasn't a full bartender, not mixing anything, but I really enjoyed it at Dunes, honestly. I did. It was a lot of fun. We had a really great crew that worked there, and even though, I don't drink now, it was nice to have a little shifty beer after, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, and it's fun, the shift drinks, because, I know you offer them, right? Like you allow people to have shift drinks.
It's not in the handbook.
Yeah.
And the answer is no.
Okay.
But I'll shake my head yes at the same time. To me, it's a per night thing.
Okay.
It's not you automatically get it. It's, hey, we had a stressful night. We had a good night. Everybody get a drink.
Yeah.
But it's not like, hey, it's 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock on a Friday night. Everyone get a drink. Saturday, 2 o'clock. Everybody get a drink. Everybody get a drink. Everybody get a drink. I think to me, it depends on what goes on, who's working. And I know that sounds really bad. Yeah. But it's who's working. If I've got a bunch of younger ones working that it could go bad, I'm just like, we're good. But if it's, if it's the veterans and it was a good night and everybody worked hard and very little hiccups, and I'm like, everybody grab a drink.
Yeah.
That's fair. It was just like when you clocked out, you got your shift beer if you wanted it.
Yeah.
And, the best thing about that job was that I worked there with my husband too. So we had a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. We would, close together and then pop down at the bar and have a drink after we closed. It was nice.
Well, at least you waited till after your shift. That's always a
I was never, unless I was trying a new beer. I'm not much of a drink on the job kind of a person.
Are you sure?
So, I mean,
are you sure you're not a drink on the job? Because I know a couple of our shows, we left a shot on your desk, and I came in at 10 here to go to my office, and I don't see that shot there anymore.
It's gone. I'll leave that up to you. What you think I did with that shot at 8 a.m. when I came in for work? So
Skittles and a shot of whiskey. I love it. I love it.
Hey, you guys have been really trying to, brown nose your way into my good graces. So it's working.
It's working.
It's working. Yeah.
If you want a podcast, leave a shot on your desk.
Well, it was funny because we were leaving. I think it was episode 2. And I was like, well, let's leave Dakota something cool. Well, all we have is whiskey. Let's leave her whiskey.
But you said you still have the note. And you said it to your bosses. I was like, hey, look what they left me.
Oh, yeah.
And they thought it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. They love it. So we talk a lot about community manager coded gifts. So it's very weird. This job is, even in my interviews with Adam, one of the owners, he was like, we don't expect you to have direct experience for this job because it's pretty niche, and there's not a lot of community manager jobs at a co-working space out there, and there's not a lot of experience to be had. So
let's go back real quick. Talk about the business real quick before we go on, because I want people to know what Workplace is before you talk about what you do. So I think they'll have an understanding of this is completely different, and especially for the Daytona area. There's some of these in the bigger cities, and you guys have 2 in Ocala, one here, and you're working on another one in Sanford, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But talk about Workplace and what it is.
Yeah. So Workspace Collective, we're a full service co-working space. So we have, different co-working memberships, which range from just a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You work remote and you just can't do it out of your house because of laundry, pets, kids, whatever the case is, and distractions, all the way up to private offices. We tailor
so I can come work here for the day.
Yeah. So we have day passes that people can, just pop in when they need to. We have a lot of people do that if they're like traveling with family and they still need to work while they're here, and
sitting by the pool at the hotel doesn't on FaceTime doesn't really work, or Zoom.
You'd be surprised how many calls I get of people. They're like, the Wi-Fi at my condo just went out. I need Wi-Fi now. I have a meeting in 20 minutes, and we can accommodate situations like that, which is really nice.
Do you get a lot of those?
People out. We do.
A lot of them. So my Wi-Fi is out for 2 days. Something out of the building, and I'm going to come work from here.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think of it. It's money. I mean, even if they pay you $100 a day.
Absolutely.
I don't know. What is if I can ask, what's your daily rate?
If
I just called you out of the blue, my internet's down, I need to rent an office today for 5-6 hours.
Yeah. So if you're doing an office, it's $75 for the day for a private office. But if you're okay with just the open space, it's $25 for the day. And that includes all of the amenities. So at that point, free coffee, snacks, sodas, everything is available to you.
Gummy bears, pretzels.
Gummy bears, yes.
Beer.
Yeah, beer. Yep. 1 free beer a day. We have some people that are a little bit liberal with the one.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
I'm just, I find out who the problem children are, and I keep my eye on them. So,
I wonder why I got that email the other day.
But we cater a lot towards like small business owners, entrepreneurs, just people who need a space. We have membership starting at just $75 a month for a virtual office, professional address that you can use to start a business.
Conference rooms. I can get my mail here, photocopies. Like it's an all-in-one office building.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay that $3,000 rent. Well, as a client or a customer of yours, I don't have to pay the $3,000 rent and insurance and all this stuff.
Exactly.
I can come here daily, and you are open after 24 hours.
So we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. That's when I'm here. That's when we're staffed. But we do have 24/7 memberships. So at that point, you guys know you have a code, if you remember it, that will get you.
Is that directed to anybody in particular?
I think it might have been.
Just because I was banging on the door to get in the podcast does not mean I want to be made fun of.
503. No, but so you can come in if you have a 24/7 membership. You can come in after hours and use the space as you need to. But yeah, we've got everything you need. The whole goal is everything we have is month to month as well. So we don't want anybody to be stuck in any kind of long-term contract, because a lot of small business owners, the problem is cash flow. They don't have the cash flow to do a 3 to 5 year lease with first, last, security deposit, all of that. So the
and
goal
$2,800 a month for an office building.
Exactly. Yeah. The goal here is, you have your monthly rate, you come in, you focus on your work, and we take care of everything else for you.
But talk about the amenities, if you will, like the podcast room, which we're in now.
Yeah.
The basically kitchen, full kitchen that you have there. The conference rooms. I mean, you have a lot of amenities besides just running an office that you can have here.
Yeah. So we have, obviously the podcast studio is, we have membership options that include hours in the podcast studio and the conference rooms. And people can also book it out as non-members. So that's the conference room. The large conference room we have downstairs seats up to 20. It's got full tech capabilities for presentations, all that stuff. Podcast studio obviously comes fully equipped with all of the equipment that we're using here. So people can come in and use the space as they need.
Can I use other spaces? If I was in Ocala, could I use the one in Ocala as a member here, or the one? I know you have a new one in Sanford that's opening up this year.
Opening next year. Yeah, still working on permitting and all that fun stuff. Last time I heard, but yeah. So at that point, it kind of functions like a gym membership. Like you can go to different locations. So obviously, if you have a private office here, you can't pop into a private office in Ocala, but you can go and use the open space. You can book the meeting rooms there. If you guys wanted to, record your podcast from Ocala for one day, we do have a podcast studio at one of our locations in Ocala.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I got an idea. Podcast in Ocala.
Little road trip.
Yep.
Yeah, Jimmy, you down? Yeah.
So back to what you do. So remember, I interrupted you. I
No,
totally
you're
interrupted
fine,
you.
you're fine, you're
But
fine.
I want our listeners to know about, we're talking about it. So back to what you do.
Yeah. So what I was specifically talking about was that the job is all over the place, and it's anything and everything. It's daily operations. It's, back end stuff. It's, hey, the printer's not working. It's, I need somebody to look at this logo that I'm, making for my new show and see what you think about it. There's so many different things. So we get a lot of community manager coded gifts, because with the variety in our job comes a variety of things. I have obviously received, shots of whiskey from you guys, but somebody gave me a pound of ground beef one day.
Nice.
I've gotten chocolates for, various things. And it's so interesting how everybody just kind of, it's the weirdest job I've ever had. It's the best job I've ever had. I absolutely love it. It's amazing here. And I mean, our entire goal is to set our members up for success. That's what we say all the time. That's what we're here for. So it's a lot of fun to know that I'm helping people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Ground beef.
Yeah.
I have to know about this.
So yeah, one of our members,
I thought our shots of whiskey was kind of like, okay, I get it. We have to think about, is there a ground beef store in here I should know about? Office number C5 is a ground beef factory.
Yeah. So one of our members, they do marketing for basically like a health alternative to Walmart. It's an online store. And I started talking to her. I'm very into like holistic nutrition and things like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because when we were here, they'd have that whole market. They're great.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
Great products.
So we were talking about that, and I was like, I only eat 100% grass-fed organic ground beef. And she was like, I have some for you to try. So she brought in a pound of ground beef for me to try. So
good.
It was great. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, we met them when we were filming, after we filmed episode 1. Mm-hmm. We went downstairs and they were in the conference room, and we walked downstairs. Like,
Wait,
hey,
they weren't in the conference room.
And I was like, Yeah, I want to try some steak.
They were everywhere. It was products. It was awesome. Like our first show we get done and we thought they all did it for us. There was like food everywhere and soap. And
you guys did great.
Congratulations, you did great. Try some soap. And I'm like, yes, I will try some soap. They have great products though.
Yeah, they're awesome. Mm-hmm.
And it's like a pyramid without being a pyramid. I don't want to say that we had a good conversation with it, but the way you order it and the way you get it is a really great concept.
Yeah, it's an online marketplace to where you can just go in, and if you want some of the dish soap or if you want the ground beef or the steak, you just go in and put it in your shopping cart and it gets delivered right to you. Is what I got from the gist of what they were telling us.
Yeah, sounds like you guys have a new sponsor, honestly, at this point.
We gotta call them. They better be listening on us. They better be listening right now.
Them and Aflac.
Them and Aflac. You got the Aflac one right there. You did. Diaper Aflac. Daddy diaper or something, whatever you're going to do.
That's funny, man. He said, I have a 7-year-old, and his name's Joe, and, he's been watching the episodes. And, like we curse, but we don't talk about really anything that a kid couldn't hear.
Except for Dakota.
That's for after the show.
But he loves the Come On Karen segment, right? Mm-hmm. And but my wife dropped something in the kitchen the other day, right? And it made a noise. I don't even know what it was. I was sitting in the living room, and I'm like, and then I hear little Joe go, "Come on, Karen." And the joy in my face from hearing him say that was just amazing.
That's going to be the new shirt. Come on, Karen.
But her face when he said it, she was like,
how mad was she?
God, so mad. But she couldn't show it to him because he's 7.
So she had to laugh?
And she did. She did. And then when he went in the other room, she's like, did you hear? I'm like, oh, God, it was great.
It was great. We're raising his allowance.
But yeah, so now anytime someone messes up in the house, all you hear is, come on, Karen.
A little mini you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
Your poor wife.
I know.
He's got a couple of them too, I think.
Oh, now you're going to get me in trouble. That is not true. I do not have a couple. 3.
NFL. Let's talk about some NFL.
Yes, I am
NFL
excited.
and hospitality.
It is.
Thursday football, Saturday, Sundays, Mondays, every day now.
Well, it is Friday, and the Eagles play here in about, 4 hours for game 1, playing in Brazil. That's why I'm here and not at the game. Thanks, NFL. Good job, Roger. But yeah, they're playing down in Brazil against the Packers, and I'm super excited about that. So once we're done in the studio, I'm going to go watch some football.
You want to put a little bet on the game?
I always want to put a bet on the game.
What are we doing?
Well,
you're obviously picking the Eagles.
Well, yeah.
And it's funny, I'm a Bears fan, but I'm actually going to pick the Packers.
You're going to pick the Packers?
So what are we doing?
I think...
no money bet.
No money. It has to be something ridiculous.
Something fun.
Someone... All right.
What's your favorite? What's your most hated team?
Oh, the Cowboys all day.
Cowboys. All right.
How about this? Instead of another team, because I hate to wear another team's jersey, surprisingly, except for the Packers, but that's because I own a share of the team. It's only one, but I own one share.
There's 4 billion shares.
But yeah, but I got one. I am an NFL owner, and no one can tell me I'm not. Why don't we wear something? The losing person on the next podcast we film has to wear something stupid. I'm talking like bikini top.
Or like a Cowboys jersey?
Something stupid.
I'm down, but I'm not wearing a bikini top.
Well,
you're not going to catch me wearing a bikini top.
I feel like the winner gets to go to Goodwill and pick out an outfit for the loser.
Oh.
Do you know what bad stuff you can find at Goodwill?
Dakota, weren't you supposed to be off the show like 5 minutes ago? What are you still doing here?
No.
I love Dakota's idea.
Go to Goodwill and pick out something for the other person to wear.
Yeah.
It's only going to be a shirt.
Not
or a whole outfit. Done. I'm
All
in.
right. I love it. Let's go, Birds.
Hey, excuse me. Give me a hand.
Oh, yeah. I'll shake on it.
All
Absolutely.
Right, here we go.
I've worn ridiculous stuff for me before, so I don't care.
You will again.
I don't rock a Speedo.
I'm going to be glued to the TV tonight watching this game.
Yeah, we'll only win by 32.
Now, did you see Applebee's has a partnership with the NFL? 50-cent wings. That's the NFL kicks
Really?
Applebee's kicks off NFL partnership with 50-cent boneless wings.
Oh, boneless. All right, that makes more sense.
Because I was going to say, I read that and I had to make sure there was boneless there because the way the prices are these days.
There's no way you're doing 50 cent wings.
You're losing
a
lot of money doing 50 cent wings. 50 cent wings haven't been since 1984.
No.
Since the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 1984, that's when we did wings at that price.
I wish we won in 84. But yeah, I mean, the days of 25 cent wings were cool a while ago. But yeah, the way the costs are, especially on chicken, now the boneless wings, that's super cheap. Like the chicken tenders you cut up, that's super cheap. But the wings are not. So that's why I'm glad you said boneless wings. I'm like, it makes so much more sense.
And it's getting, how do you think it's going to be this year? How do you think it's going to be this year with the season and how you can watch on YouTube? The packages aren't the same. A lot of things have changed.
Yeah.
In the NFL, from sponsorships to watching things, I think every year it seems to get slower and slower. I'm talking about the restaurant business.
No, you're right. Because every year, as a restaurant, you have to do a little bit more to convince Harry to not watch the game from his couch. You got to give him
his
a reason.
iPhone or his laptop, and we can sit right here and watch the game.
Oh, absolutely.
But what's going to get me to go to your bar?
Yep.
50 cent wings, bucket specials. So we have to give away cheaper products to get people in there on a game that's now this NFL package is thousands of dollars to get people in here. They're not even guaranteed they're going to come in because you're selling them the product for cheaper to watch it on their iPhone.
Yeah. You're spending more on the entertainment aspect and getting less profit from what you're selling.
And prices are up.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those like, man, prices of everything went up. So how do you convince them that it's worth it to come to your place and spend $5-6 a beer instead of just sitting at home when on YouTube you can buy it for like $600 this year for a residential or $500. It's something. It's not crazy expensive.
And all the games and everything.
Yeah.
Split screen, everything. You can buy it for $500-600. What's going to convince them to come to the bar and spend that type of money?
Yeah. And one thing that, I've done in the past and I'd want to start doing, probably this season is getting some giveaways, doing raffles, like free raffles, getting stuff. The one year I gave away a Tito's football helmet, which was really cool. We had a bunch of people enter that raffle. And it was something, we got for free from our distributor. But my God, just putting it out there brought in so many people because they wanted the helmet.
Is that the gimmick this year to get? I would say the gimmick, but is that what it is to get this year?
It is a gimmick. I mean, you're not wrong.
I hate the word. It just sounds so bad. But
I mean,
is that the promotion to get people in is helmets and jerseys? And I remember one year I had a client of mine that every game, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, they gave away a team jersey. And we're not talking about the ones you buy on Amazon for $39.95.
No.
We're talking about the
like
$200 stitched on authentic ones they bought. Tons of them. I mean, probably spent $4 or $5 grand in jerseys because they were $250 a piece, $200 a piece. They were the nice, ones you could technically wear in the game.
Yeah.
Not game worn, but ones authentic off the website. They ordered $3,000 worth, and they were giving one away a game. They would pick one of the popular ones. Oh, the Raiders are playing, Chicago today, and we're going to give away, a jersey or something. And it worked. People came in for it.
Oh, they will. I mean, maybe it's just me. I love free stuff. I'll go to a lot of things if you give me a free T-shirt or something.
See, I don't.
I love it.
I don't. I've been in this business for 20 years, and I've got more promo shirts and more this and more that. I don't. Every time they come in, you want? No, I'm good. Thanks. I appreciate it. I mean, I like the stuff. Don't get me wrong, but another Crown Royal shirt, another Tito's shirt, another Tito's hat, and sorry, I'm calling the liquor companies out. They got cheap on their stuff, man.
They've got
the hats. I don't want the hats anymore. The shirts they have smedium or smedium, and I'm not quite a smedium anymore. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand things have gotten tighter, but the promo stuff isn't as cool as it was.
No, they don't bring nearly as much. Like even, I mean, it was a good promo. I had a promo Sunday. It's a holiday weekend. But 1,800 came in. And they came in, I talked to them, kind of set them up. I'm like, ooh, look, shirt for me, handkerchief for me. I don't like handkerchiefs, but one for me.
One for little Joe.
And this is for the bartender, and this is for the other bartender.
Yeah, but you remember back then they used to give such great stuff.
Oh, they did.
They'd come in with boxes of hats. They were the nice hats. Now they got the golf hats, or they were the trucker hats. Now they got the snapback ones that they got.
Jeremy, in my garage, I have a 4-foot tall Snoop Dogg Corona bobblehead. And it is awesome. Every time I walk out of my garage, I'm like, bonk.
And why is it not here in the Somewhat Tipsy studio?
I mean, it could be. It could be.
I told you.
Every time we brought something in, she's made it happen.
I told you. We go above and beyond.
She got ground beef. She got a shot and a 4-foot tall bobblehead on her desk. She will never forget that. Her next podcast in 10 years, she'll be like, I got a bobblehead.
Mm-hmm. I do have to tell you, you're talking about all the giveaway stuff and everything. We had a big box at that Irish pub I worked at. We had a big box from Tullamore Dew get dropped off, and it was a free-for-all frenzy fight to get stuff. I actually ended up like bargaining with somebody and trading them something that I had grabbed for a canvas like bag. It's like a big tote bag, and I use it on like trips and stuff, and it was pretty nice stuff.
2 shifts, $40, and I'll take the blame on that French fries going missing if you give me that bag.
Yeah. Oh, basically, yeah. It was good stuff, but.
Yeah, I remember years ago it could have been Captain Morgan. I think it was because Captain Morgan shipped a whole bunch. We were doing this big event with Captain, and they're shipping a whole bunch of free stuff to give away. And I get a text from the rep, hey, dropped it all off, sitting in your office. I'm like, fantastic. I'll go check it out tomorrow. I get there, I get my office, and there's the box.
Empty,
completely.
And all your bartenders are wearing the shirts.
Uh-huh. We had an event. It was a sorority party. So there was like 120, 130. And, it was getting sponsored by Captain. So it was for the sorority to give them. And what? Called the rep. I'm like, I need another box. She's like, well, why? And I tell her what happened. She's like, well, just get it back from your staff. I'm like, you want me to give these worn shirts to people? Like, no.
Stephanie already cut hers up anyway.
Like, I need another box. And luckily, I got another box. Nowhere near as cool the stuff in that box.
But you actually go somewhere for a promo shirt. Like, you will go to a game because they're giving away Tullamore Dew shirts.
I love free stuff.
Or a Smirnoff hat.
I mean, I love hats. I'll take hats all day long.
They're going to be easy to buy for Christmas.
Oh, so easy.
So easy.
Like,
Get you a Steelers jersey and a Cowboys hat, and we're good to go.
Like, socks. I love socks. Anyone wants to make me happy at Christmas time? Socks. New socks, black ankle socks.
Thank God Dakota and I are looking at you the same way. We're both like, what?
Socks? Of all things?
I had this thing, and it was weird.
Did you get the Captain Morgan socks they gave out this year?
I didn't.
I have Captain Morgan socks.
But I had this thing, and I wouldn't wear a pair of socks twice. So it only went on for like 6 months. But for 6 months, I was putting on a new pair of socks and throwing them away. I don't know. I was drinking a lot back then.
You went through 240 pairs of socks.
I would go and I would go out once a week and buy a bunch of like socks. And I would go in and have them trim my beard in the hair cuttery place next door. Not a haircut. Just trim the beard.
Dakota, I'm glad you and I are looking at it.
I think you need to be studied. I think your brain needs to be studied for this.
So what was with the socks, though?
I don't know.
Was it like a thing where you're going to wear the dirty socks until you lose a game?
No, like I
You
just
remember the baseball what do they call that?
Yeah. Like this, I did it like
superstitions.
Yeah.
I'm not washing my socks till we lose or till we win or whatever it is. Like,
I wore the same underwear for 5 weeks one time because we were winning. I get it, but no, the sock thing was just. I like the feel of fresh
in
socks.
the words of your son, come on, Karen.
I just love the feel of fresh socks. Nothing beats it. Like
underwear for 5 weeks, but socks every day.
Socks every day.
Doesn't make any sense. An Eagles jersey, the same underwear, and different pair of socks.
It had to be socks.
Okay.
But speaking of come on, Karen. Come on, Karen.
Come on, Karen.
We had Grant Portier on last week, and he's a consultant for Grant & Consultant. They have a couple different liquors that they sell, and he used to own a restaurant in Key West called Pokey in the Rear. And we were doing the Come On Karen. He's like, dude, you have got to use one of my reviews because he responded on it. So this episode, we're going to go and use the Pokey in the Rear comment.
Boy, am I excited for this one. You got on to this one.
I have one for you guys for a future episode.
Oh, perfect.
So good.
Why? Do it now. Come on, let's do 2 Come On Karens tonight. It's a special episode.
It's really long. It's a really long review.
So this one says, I'm not going to beat this place up too bad, but I have to make one comment. In a moment, poke was just okay. Maybe it's a personal preference, but I like to taste my tuna salmon when I eat it in a sushi form. Their poke bowl was slamming with flavor. Good flavor. There could have been leather bootstraps in that dish and it would have tasted good. Segue. I decided I wanted to taste the salmon tuna. So I separated and cleaned off some good chunks of each. I'm a fairly confident sashimi diner. And never have I eaten actual salmon and tuna and had them taste and feel exactly the same. That's my comment. And more. I suspect I know what's up, but I won't say to spread potential bad info. But it's shameful. I will never return. The date had a meat, cheese, pretzel plate, by the way. I think she said meant to go the place, but. And the pretzel felt nuked. So its good texture was on a very short timer. Otherwise decent. So, all right. I mean, I'm assuming she thought that it wasn't salmon or it wasn't tuna, and it was, they were just kind of selling it both the same. That's what I'm assuming. I like, she loved the flavor, but still a 1 or 3-star review. Sorry, 3-star review. But
so it was great flavor.
It was great flavor.
3-star review.
So she took the flavor.
But the tuna didn't taste like tuna?
She washed the flavor off of the tuna and the salmon to just eat like a piece of tuna and a piece of salmon with nothing on it. And she thought that they looked and tasted the same or felt the same. But Grant, he decided that, he said he always responded to every review. This is his response. First, let me thank you for taking the time to write an honest review of Pokey in the Rear. We take tremendous amount of pride with everything that comes out of our rear. That being said, I would like to invite you back to our rear to see for yourself, firsthand, the quality and freshness of our fish in the rear. We make everything from scratch, including the sauce you so enjoyed. And I agree with you. You could put it on anything, and it would be slamming. It would be my pleasure to give you a personal tour of our rear so you could see for yourself and possibly change your mind about the food we do proudly prepare. Ask for Grant. He'll show you his rear. Your mouth, soft, crunchy, sweet, spicy, and just downright delicious.
That's a great review back.
I love his comment.
Did he ever come? Did she ever come back?
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to ask him.
We'll have to ask him if he ever came back for that tour.
Of his rear.
Of his rear.
I mean, amazing.
Yeah. And I get, if she just wanted the tuna and the salmon, it was
order
all,
the tuna and salmon plate.
It was all made to scratch. I'm sure she could have said, hey, just no poke sauce. And they could have got it. But, Grant, because we were talking about the review, he's like, dude, it was salmon and tuna. Like, I never.
Sold swine and something else.
Yeah. But, going back to what we talked about last week on how, even timing with food, people's perception of food is so different. Like the timing, it took an hour, but it took 20 minutes.
Or that meatloaf didn't taste right because it's not your grandma's meatloaf.
Yeah. Like I've had people argue with me that, well, this isn't grouper. I promise you it is. I don't know how to prove.
Go grab the receipt. Go grab your.
Well, I've even taken a box out and been like, oh, see? They'd be like, well, you have grouper, but this isn't grouper. I'm like, do you want another one? I promise you it's grouper.
Some people are just looking for a fight.
They
just want to be mad.
I think it's because it's not what they grew up on. It's not their grouper, not their grandma's meatloaf. I use the grandma's meatloaf, thing, but their grandma cooked meatloaf a certain way for 10 years. When they try something else, it's not the same. And they are right, but doesn't mean that grandma was right.
Yeah. But I love the responses from owners sometimes. Like, I love the ones that say shit that I won't.
Yeah, I see. I let those go. I'm not a responder on those. I'm like, I'm sorry you had a great time. Please come in and let us take care of it. I don't go fighting back because I don't want the back and forth. Because some Karens will take it way above. I'm like, I'm so sorry to hear about your experience. Please let us make it up to you. Please ask for me. Most of them don't call. They don't ask. They don't come back in. They just had to be heard for that 2 minutes they got home because their husband yelled at them the whole way home. So they got to feel one up when they get home and yell back at us via comment, but no one's ever come in. No one's ever come back for it, or hardly ever that I've ever had.
Oh, God, we had one time. A girl came up. She said she lost her card. I had it. And I was just like, all right, I just need to see your ID to make sure, it's her card. It was not her card. She's like, oh, well, it's my mom's card. I'm like, cool. Where's your mom? Not here. All right, well, I'm not just going to give you somebody's card. I mean, it could be your mom. It might not be. It could be anybody. So I'm not doing it. Like, hey, bring an ID, and I'll give it to you. So she goes online, and, the manager stole my credit card. So I'm like, fuck this. I respond, I'm like, no, I did not steal your credit card. I have someone's credit card that's not yours, and I wouldn't give you somebody else's credit card. Like, I put it on there. Oh, my God.
You opened a whole can there, didn't you?
So this girl was in a sorority at, I think it was like USF or something. And our reviews got blasted with 1 stars from, I swear to God, every girl in that sorority. Like it was happening. I was like, oh no, I've done something terribly wrong.
You wrote back, please come pick up your card on Thursday at 5 p.m. I'll be here.
I'll give you that person's card. I don't care. Just make it stop.
And the whole sorority got together.
Oh, God.
You should have known better. What's wrong with you?
Dude. I sometimes you just...
Delta, can we help you? They helped it right through your freaking reviews.
I was like, yeah, asshole, did you really have to say your point? You couldn't just leave it alone.
See why I leave it alone? That's exactly why I leave it alone.
Uh-huh.
My response to that would have been, I'm sorry to hear about your unfortunate credit card. Please come see me. I'm telling you, it's easy. Yeah, you learned a lesson.
Directed directly at
me.
me.
Yeah, but you responded back too.
I did.
You deserve that.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
6 years, probably.
Jeez. Yeah. Did they ever come back from the reviews?
No.
No.
Those reviews are still up there.
Marvin's Seafood still has bad reviews, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, I learned from my mistake. I'm a little more cautious. I do that. Hey, my name's Joe. Here's my email. I can give you my cell number. Call me.
No pokey in the rear.
No pokey in the rear.
You got one? We're going to do a double Karen.
It's really long. Like,
okay.
really long. So it's...
Should I go get a drink and take a 15-minute break while you're doing this? Or what?
So it's from Hoo Hot Mongolian Grill in Topeka, Kansas.
We have one in Port Orange. I've eaten there. It's good.
Yeah, so it's delicious. My husband and I, our honeymoon was a 2-week road trip around the country. And so we were camping the whole way. And so one night we were stuck. There was a rainstorm. We couldn't camp in Topeka, Kansas. So we ended up getting a hotel and we were starving. So we went to Hoo Hot. We always like looking at the reviews and we see this 1-star review. And when I tell you it's long, I mean, it's long. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Oh, that is a long one.
But this man was super angry. He was traveling with his lady friend and they, the service is always great. Servers always get at least a $10 tip from him, he said. And I mean, he's painting a picture here of the whole thing. And he is told the waiter that he drinks a lot of water, so he needs his water glass refilled constantly. So he goes into this, talking about after about 2 bites of food, I drank the last drop. I saw the waiter look as the ice crashed back down into the glass, a sound I used to key into when I waited tables. He turned away and turned his attention to a table of 3 or 4 girls, flirted with them, and refilled their glasses. I couldn't blame him. They were a lot easier to look at than me, I'm sure. It was a little creepy because they were so young. I mean, this man goes on and on and on.
He wrote a freaking novel.
He did
and
write
it was
a novel.
The glass crashed to the ground.
Yes.
My salad fork was this. I mean, he gets in depth.
Like the imagery in this is really beautiful. My husband and I sat there reading this and we were crying, laughing about it. My favorite part is at the end, he finally got the server's attention and he was like, I told you I needed water. Where's my water? And so the server brought him 3 full glasses of water, came over, slammed them down. No, seriously, he slammed them down, spilling some, and said, here's your drinks, in the most aggressive tone I've ever experienced from any server ever in my entire life. And I love that server so much for that, because that's what everybody wants to do when you have somebody that's treating you like that. I mean, he goes on and on. I'll show you guys the review so you can read it, but it's insane.
But why didn't he just bring a pitcher of water with a straw? I used to do that.
Yeah.
I used to have I used to have fun with them. It was never a thing, but they come on, they're at 3 refills in and they just got their appetizer. I'm like, sir, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And I bring over a pitcher with a straw in it. And they get a kick out of it. But I would bring over literally a pitcher with a straw in it.
I'll do that. We went to a restaurant the night before my husband and one of his friends was running a marathon. And I told them, I was like, we all drink a lot of water. Can we get a couple of pitchers? Because otherwise we're going to be really annoying. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. So she brought over a couple of pitchers. We didn't have to bother her. We had all the water we wanted. Like, end of story. It was nice. So yeah, I mean, that's always an option. But this guy is...
I wonder what that would happen. I wonder how the reviews are from Dick's Last Resort. We just got one here in Daytona. They opened
have
about
a perfect 5-star so far. I looked it up 2 days ago. They have a perfect 5-star rating.
I want to know what Dick's Last. They were rude to consider it. Yeah, right. No shit.
Yeah,
that's the point.
That's their stick.
I'd like to work. Awesome. I want to work there for one day. No, I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can get a job there for one day.
Just say everything you've always wanted to say.
Would that be so much fun to go up to a server and be like, hey, assholes, thank you for coming in. I'm not going to take your order. You're going to get what the fuck I tell you want to get. Like, that might be
That's every server's dream. I mean, honestly.
All right,
but
guys.
It sounds like the same thing that guy did when he wrote his novel.
Yeah.
Well, we are getting to that time. Dakota, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Tonight, I will call you over this football game and see who's wearing...
I can't wait to go to Goodwill tomorrow.
No, I'm going to go to Goodwill and buy your clothes. I told you this. I'm going to find a promo shirt there for you. Did you like promo shirts?
But yeah, we want to thank Blue Note Bourbon, our sponsor for this episode. Thank you so much. Guys, if you can, like, share, subscribe. Getting the word out is super important. So thank you all, and we'll see you next week. Kylie's here.